She's redefining what strong really means, from pelvic health to the boardroom. This is the Empower Women Show with Jane Trimble, the show that elevates and empowers women in the community by sharing their story and showcasing their business. With me in the studio today is Michelle Donald from Donald Physiotherapy. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, how's it going, Jane?
Good. Welcome to the studio.
Yes,
and to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Michelle, where are you from? And tell us a bit about your upbringing.
I'm born and raised Saskatoon.
Yeah.
My parents are here still, actually, and I went through schooling in Saskatoon, both my undergrad and my physiotherapy degree, and came out with a lovely degree in physical therapy back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
And the rest has just kind of evolved where connections were made, and I met my husband, who happens to be a physiotherapist as well.
Oh my God, how convenient.
Very convenient, but it was playing slow pitch. It wasn't even in school. So,
right.
And then, marriage, kids, suddenly we decide we're opening a business.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is really cool when a husband and wife join forces.
Yeah.
You've got power couple vibes coming out. So you met at a softball game?
Yeah, just playing slow pitch, just mutual friends. And then all of a sudden you're like, what do you do? Well, what do you do? And the rest kind of happens. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what different skills do you bring to the table? I'm sure, you're both, physiotherapists, but like what are your different strengths, I suppose?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
My husband is an absolute gem when it comes to mentorship of clinicians.
Yeah.
Just the way his clinical brain works, he really supports and grows and nurtures that.
Yeah.
And we've seen it just with the clinicians that have developed from the clinic.
Yeah.
And then for myself, it's a lot of processes, advocacy, and women's health. So he does not do the women's health side of things. He said he'll leave that to me. So,
good.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons, yeah.
Dive into that then. So women's health is is one of your focuses.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's been a really huge love of mine,
Yeah.
right? I always say every body has a pelvis, right? So I do treat men, women, and actually children.
Right.
But a huge focus on women's health and connecting prenatal, postpartum. Even now we're seeing more and more perimenopausal, menopausal women and having those conversations of how does that affect us? How does that affect what we do on a daily basis, our quality of life? Yeah.
I kind of selfishly want to talk about the perimenopausal
fair.
thing because I'm 42 and I know that's on the horizon.
It is.
And I just think there's not a lot of information out there.
No, and it's something I think that, that's where a lot of the focus is that education piece.
Yeah.
We talk about the changes in hormonal patterns and how that can affect so many different things.
Yeah.
General aches, pains, brain fog to pelvic health.
Yeah.
Continence and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
it's a really important, underserved topic.
Yeah, agreed. So what are some of the things with the pelvic health that you look at then in women, not necessarily just perimenopausal, but are there common things that come up that people want to see you about?
Right. A lot of it has to do with pain, right? Like it could just be pelvic pain.
Yeah.
That could be daily. It could be with intercourse.
Yeah.
But then it could also be the incontinence that results. So just, I don't want to jump on the trampoline with the kids because I'm leaking a little. Or I want to go for a run, but I have to wear certain things so that I feel dry. And those are things that we shouldn't have to do.
Yes.
It's a common thing, but it doesn't have to be acknowledged that it's normal.
Yes.
Because we can help it.
Right, there are solutions.
Most definitely.
I think we all perhaps live with a little bit of pain until we can't anymore, and then we get help.
100%. And that could be an ankle sprain, neck pain, back pain to this as well. Yeah.
So it's like people come to people like you, and as their last resort, they're like, "Help! I've tried everything else, and I'm still living with this thing."
Still living. Yeah.
And so what are some of the solutions then when women come to you about a pelvic health issue?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of it is education, right? We do dive into kind of where maybe the journeys come from to this point, conversations that maybe they had with other healthcare professionals.
Yeah.
Was there pregnancy or not? Those sort of things. But then there's also an exam that I can do as a physical therapist. I've been trained to be able to perform an external and internal exam. And so a lot of times we'll work in conjunction with the physicians, with the nurse practitioners for that postpartum check or that perimenopausal check of what's going on. And we can give feedback, right? Is it muscle tension? Is it a muscle that isn't contracting as well. That's leading to a lot of the things that you're dealing with. Yeah.
And then obviously you touched on the hormonal piece is just as important as the physical piece. There's different things going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
So do they go to a different specialist then for the hormone piece, or do you touch on that too?
I indirectly do, right? It's kind of within the scope, but it's not officially, right? Because that it ultimately left up to physicians for blood work, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it plays a role, because to have an understanding of the female cycle helps guide why the muscles are doing what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hence why it's amazing that you're doing it, because you are a woman and potentially have experienced these things yourself.
It's starting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I would love to talk more about it on the show and get more awareness to these things.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and then so share a couple of success stories. You know, we all love to hear about like how it worked. You know, somebody was in a situation and then they came to you. So do you have any stories like that you could share?
Of course, yeah. And it's, you know, a very typical story is, you know, maybe just postpartum mom, right? Baby's 6 weeks old and they're coming in and they're wondering, is it normal for me to be having pain just walking around, pain while carrying baby, pain with resuming sexual activity, along with, you know, what happened during that. So a lot of times we'll see that muscle tension and with a combination of the treatment of hands-on release as well as education to go to no longer leaking, returning to running. You know, and I had this one mom where she's like, I am now pushing my stroller with my kiddo in it while I go for a run.
I love it.
Right? And to be able to just see that relief that they don't feel broken is probably the biggest thing, because they always feel they did something wrong. And it's like, nothing wrong. Your body's amazing, right? It created this cool little cute being, and now you have to rehab it, just like if you sprained your ankle. Yeah,
absolutely. And that healing process, I'm sure it takes time too.
100%. You know, a lot of times we'll call postpartum the 4th trimester, and really anybody that's postpartum, you're postpartum forever. Right. And so you'll have different phases during that postpartum period, whether it's that initial 6 weeks, right, when babies just kind of come out and you've healed and maybe still dealing with sleep deprivation, but then also progressing into your kids are 10 and 13 and you're wanting to resume different activities for yourself. And what does that look like? And then perimenopause, menopause.
Yeah, it never ends.
It never ends. Yeah.
I know. Is there a difference between women's pelvic health that have had a baby and who haven't had a baby?
Generally, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good information.
Yeah.
Because different bodily things will change. Different changes in the body will happen with pregnancy, but there's still a female hormonal cycle that occurs regardless.
Yeah. Right.
And a lot of times it comes down to muscle tension or muscle weakness, and that weakness is usually because of tension. So in the end, it could be the young, highly athletic CrossFit Olympian that's dealing with pelvic health issues, never had a baby, that is actually very similar to someone who has just had a baby.
Isn't that wild?
It's very wild.
Yeah. It's good to know that, though, that it's not, you know, it's across the board.
Totally.
You're not unique in having issues.
No, it's common, but it doesn't have to be normal.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And I know you guys from previous conversations, you're growing, right? Your business.
Oh yeah, we just kind of keep doing everything and anything, and it's kind of great to be able to serve the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that growth and how that's been.
Of course, yeah. I know. You know, we've been in our current location for just about 11 years now, which just blows my mind. Or has been 11, but it blows my mind. We've been expanding more into some home visits now.
Good.
You know, so we have been doing not only long-term care, but just, you know, grandma and grandpa had a hip replacement, or somebody had an ACL replacement, can't get out because, you know, it snows. And so we've been able to assist with that, becoming more and more part of the community. That's been our backbone, being out in different areas to give presentations, basically preach the importance of what physiotherapy can do, right? And so the more we do that, the better it gets.
Yes, and you are supporters of the community, including the Empower Women show.
We are.
You're sponsors of our show, which we're very grateful for.
Have noticed that a couple times, yeah.
And then speak about it from an entrepreneurial point of view too, because we have a lot of women entrepreneurs watch the show. For you personally, how have you found the entrepreneurial journey?
Right. You know, when we were in school, we never learned anything about business, right? And you just knew that you wanted, you know, my husband and I talked, we just wanted to do something different to do better by the community. And so a lot of learning by the seat of your pants and really relying on other mentors and now becoming mentors within the community for business. But that journey, I explained it to my son, it's a lot like golf in that you're going to have this amazing drive and then you'll miss the putt. And it just goes up and down, and it's a cycle that you have to ride those highs and lows, and you never really feel comfortable about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd change it for anything. Yeah.
I love it. It strikes me that what you're doing is a wonderful mix of heart and passion for what you do, and also just a profitable business. Like you've got that wonderful marriage of you're doing something you love and it's profitable.
Yes.
Which is like
it's kind of nice. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And then has your team expanded then as well? You talked about clinicians earlier.
Yeah, we are at 7 clinicians now.
Wow.
Kinesiologists and 2 amazing admin. Like we keep adding services with it. We're getting now creative in our room juggling, because it's, you know, do Trevor and I now have to buddy up to share a room so we can get another clinician in. Like it's one of those things that we just have to marry. Like when we're talking about, you know, that journey, we get creative with what we do to just keep being able to serve that community.
Yeah, you sound like an incredible team. It would take a lot of communication skills.
It's interesting most days.
What is your communications between you know, team and with your husband, who's also your business partner?
Right. Trevor and I really work hard at having an in-clinic business meeting to try and keep it away from home.
Good.
Right. And that allows us to be more present for kids, for family, that sort of thing. Right. We also structure a weekly mentorship huddle with the team, so we get those opportunities weekly as a group, and then one-on-one opportunities as needed. So it's become a really nice flow that helps support the in the know, the in the moment, but as well as that long-term growth.
Yeah. Did you learn how to become a better communicator, or is it something you've just adapted to, or just naturally like that?
I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of all three, right? Yeah. Because you do get feedback along the way from people, but I think there is a little bit of an innate skill that comes with it at times to be able to have that conversation, moderate a conversation. And it definitely has been from previous mentors and now being in that mentor role with others to be, well, what do you think about that? And let them have that moment to process and think and then guide them along the way.
That's a really great question to like when you're asked a question, well, what do you think?
Well, what do you think? Yeah, exactly.
And then you have a family, you have kids. How many kids do you have?
We have 2 kids. Our son is 13, our daughter's 10.
Yes.
And between baseball, softball, dance, swimming, we occasionally sleep as well.
I was going to say, when do you?
Kind of mix that in and, you know, and the usual cat and a dog and live on an acreage. So it keeps us going.
It's just a beautiful life you're describing. You know, it's a really strong quality of life. It sounds like.
It's been wonderful.
How do you juggle being a mum, being an entrepreneur, being a wife, all of the things? You know, what's your secret?
I don't know if there is a secret, to be honest, because there's days where I look at Trev and go, I just need a nap. I just need to like tap out. But part of it is being mindful of a schedule, as weird as that might sound. Is, you know, you have your dedicated clinic time, you have your dedicated kid time, those non-negotiables.
That's great.
And then the rest kind of fluctuates around it.
Yeah.
It kind of fills those gaps.
What's the biggest area that you're sort of personally most proud of?
Oh, goodness. That's a really good question, Jane.
I am an interviewer.
Right. You know, I think a big part of it has been stretching my comfort zone, right? And being able to take on things like, say, the president role, to work towards advocacy of our profession, to see, you know, what can we do together to make this profession better so that the community can be healthier. So that our you know, those that come after us can step into something and feel like we are serving the community even better.
Yeah. And on that note, where can people find you online?
Oh, goodness. Okay. We are on Facebook. Just Donald Physiotherapy. We're also on Instagram. I believe it's Donald_physio. And those are probably the 2 best places to find us other than our website.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's just so lovely to meet you and hear your story and go a bit more in depth with it.
Wonderful. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Until next time. Queens belong on thrones. Let's put them there. The Empower Women Show merch available at theempowerwomenshow.ca.